All right, guys, this one should be a lot of fun. You are going to now show off your acting chops by performing a scene from Shakespeare in the original text, and then you'll show me that you understand what you were saying by giving me a paraphrase of that chunk of text. Okay? So step one is the performance video. Although I'll admit to you, if I were you guys, I'd actually do step two first. Okay? But let's take a look the way that I have it listed here. Step one is the performance video. You're going to select one of the soliloquies, monologues, or dialogues from the play and record yourself performing the lines. Your options are listed below, so if you go down to the bottom, you have a lot of options for a soliloquy or monologue. That's going to require one person, and then you do have a few options if you would like to involve someone else in your performance. Then you can do a dialogue, and that would require two people. Okay? If you're doing the dialogue option, real quick, I didn't mention this on here, but that has to be another person from the class, okay? So you're either going to do this by yourself or you're going to do it with another person from the class. So unfortunately, you can't do a dialogue with your mom. If you want to, use your mom for the nurse's call that's off stage, go for it. But the dialogue has to be two people from the class, okay? And I'll kind of talk about some ideas for how you can do that if you want to do that, okay? Most of you will probably choose the soliloquy or monologue option just because we're in kind of a weird remote learning situation. But you may want to do the dialogue, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so select one of them. Like it says here, you may choose to do this on your own or with a partner. If you choose to perform the scene on your own, you must select from the list of soliloquies or monologues. If you choose to perform the scene with a partner, you must choose from the list of dialogues. Okay, so it is kind of limited in that way. Okay, also I want to make this clear. If you do decide to do a dialogue with a partner, the two of you only need one submission. Okay, so you don't have to submit the same video twice, one for each person. You just need to submit one video and just make it clear that it's for the two of you. And if I see the two of you in it, then I'll figure it out. Okay. If you choose to perform a dialogue with a partner, then you are responsible for figuring out how to get that scene into one video. Some ways that I thought you could perhaps do it is if you guys do a Zoom meeting, you can actually record a Zoom meeting, and so I can see the two of you guys, in two different boxes, but you guys can act like you're talking to each other, obviously. Well, you would be. Anyway, so that's one way, is to record a Zoom meeting of your performance. You could also record your parts completely separately as little video clips or whatever, and then you can use iMovie to make it into one scene. Or maybe there's another way you can do this. I don't know. You guys can be creative if you decide to do a dialogue. The dialogue is not required. You do not have to work with another person. I'm just throwing it out there as an option for those of you that are missing each other right now. Okay? There is no time minimum or maximum on your performance video. Use the time that you need. So what I'm trying to say is obviously 30 seconds is probably not going to do it for any of these options that I have. All right. Really actually take the time to make this good. Actually perform it. Okay, this won't go well for you if all you do is literally sit there and read the text. Okay, you have to actually perform it. Your voice should kind of do some different things. All right, as you're expressing the emotions of the character, you are acting this out. Okay, I don't expect Oscar-worthy performances here, but I do want you to give it your best. Okay. You do need to include props or costumes in your video. Feel free to be creative. Find things around your house that can aid you in your performance. Again, the costumes and props do not have to be Oscar worthy. That's not what we're going for here. But be creative. If you need some sort of a sword, then you can, make one out of cardboard or whatever. Okay. Don't get dangerous here. Don't actually use knives or anything like that. But you get what I'm saying. Be creative, but you do need to have some props or costumes, okay? Or maybe both. And then you are going to title your video file act.scene.lines that you are performing, okay? So your title of your actual video file, okay, will be something like 1.1 that should say point, sorry, 77 through 99 performance, okay? So make sure that I know which scene you've chosen before I even open up the document, or before I even open up the video. All right, real quick too on the performance video, that should be either a .mov or a .mp4 video format, and you'll upload that directly to Canvas. There are actually 2 assignment boxes for this one assignment because it's in 2 parts. So one of them you have to upload the video, again, either as an MP4 or a .mov. All right. The second piece that you have to upload and do is the paraphrase. So again, yes, you're performing a video, and that is in the original language. Okay, let me be very clear. You need to actually read the original text in your performance. But I want to know that you know what you're saying. So I'm going to have you type out a paraphrase of your scene. Okay, so again, type out a line-by-line paraphrase of your scene. Again, I want to know that you actually know what you're saying in your video. Again, you probably want to do this before recording your performance so that you do know what you're saying before you perform it. Please give me a side-by-side. So kind of like in the balcony translation or the balcony paraphrase assignment that I gave you, or the Capulet paraphrase assignment that I gave you. I had the original text on one side, and then you guys filled in the other side. That's what you're going to do. You're going to type out the original text, and then type, or if you want to handwrite in Notability, your paraphrase on the other side. Okay? I would recommend probably doing that in Notability. That's probably the easiest way to format all of this. Notice it says MLA format is not required for the paraphrase. So I'm not looking for a header, a heading, or a title or anything like that because you're not actually titling any original work. But please make sure to title your paraphrase, the document, by act.scene.lines that you are paraphrasing. Again, 1.1.77 through 99 paraphrase. Okay, so again, before I even open the document, I should see which one you're doing. Okay, so that again will have a whole separate assignment submission box. So that should be submitted as a PDF. However you want to do that is fine. Okay. So the soliloquy and monologue options, you have the Prince's Edict from the beginning. Again, that would be one person. You could do the nurse's story about Juliet. Notice that you can skip line 19 there because I think Lady Capulet says something. Don't worry about it. So instead, just go through it. That's the nurse's story about Juliet falling and then saying I. And then you could do the Queen Mab speech, Mercutio's. You could do the Friar's good and evil soliloquy, where he's kind of picking up herbs and such from his garden. You can do when Benvolio recaps the fight between Mercutio and Tybalt, and then Tybalt and Romeo. You can do the one where Juliet scolds the nurse, the one where she scolds the nurse because the nurse says something bad about Romeo. The one where Romeo is essentially weeping and he hates the word banished, you could do that. The friar scolding Romeo for not being grateful for his situation. You could do the scene where Juliet takes the potion, or the one where Romeo takes the poison. Okay. Dialogue, I only gave a few options for this one because it was just a little bit tricky to keep it to 2 people. So if you really want to, and it does not have to be a boy and a girl doing this, even though that's what the text would require or whatever. I don't care about gender in terms of performances, okay? So you could do the balcony scene. If you do that, make sure that you include the nurse's call off stage. So again, that's where you can get your mom or dad involved. Hopefully your mom, because it'd be really, well, I don't know, whatever. Like I said, gender doesn't matter for this. Second one, you can do the funny scene between Juliet and the nurse when the nurse is delaying giving Juliet the news of her wedding. And then you can also do Romeo and Juliet in their post-wedding night scene where they're saying their goodbyes. Very romantic and very lovey-dovey stuff. So those are kind of your options. I hope this all makes sense to you, and I am very much looking forward to seeing you guys act these scenes out, okay? And again, I just want to make it really, really clear. The performance video, that is the original text. You are performing the original text. You are not speaking your paraphrase. You are reading the lines from Romeo and Juliet. Oh, and I want to make this clear too. I said you can read the lines, and that's true, but I don't want to see your book in your hand as you do it. Okay, so it would be better if you kind of made yourself some cue cards or had someone, maybe here's where your mom gets involved. Your mom could hold the cue cards while you act it out. Okay, but I don't want to see the text on screen. Okay, and I don't want it to be clear that you're reading it. I want you to be acting it. All right, so again, hopefully all this makes sense. Good luck, and I am excited to see it.